Welcome back to House Guest with me, Hailey Lowe Fennell. I'm a psychic medium, and this is the podcast that connects you to the other side. You are about to listen to a podcast recording with Niki. Thank you, Niki, so much for being on. We connect in with her grandmother and her two aunts. We talk a lot about her wonderful work, and I can't wait for you guys to know more about her. You can follow her on Instagram at Niki, and that's with one K, Niki, Asana, Asana. Or you can go to her website at embodimentpath.com. Thank you, Niki, for coming on. If you guys don't mind, please like, subscribe, review the podcast. It is a big help. And if you would like to sponsor the podcast, we now offer that. You can reach out to me at Hailey at HaileyFennell.com. That's HaileyFennell, 2 L's in Fennell.com. And I'll send you over all of the information so that your business can be on the podcast as well. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoy. And thank you, Niki. Have you ever had a reading before?
I've had 2 readings in my lifetime.
Oh.
One was actually, I would consider her like a mom friend.
Yeah.
Who was starting her moving in the direction of like spiritual mediumship. So I let her read me. It was a very quick one.
Oh, cool.
And I did like a group reading with 2 other friends once. So not nearly as many as people would assume I've had. That's all.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, before I got into psychic mediumship, like I just had a reading right before you, and someone was like, how long have you been doing this? I turned 40 later this year. And I started when I was 30. I really started when I was 33. And when I maybe only had one reading before. Like I just like I'd watched other people. Like I was like watched other people get readings. I'd been in group readings where like I wasn't the one getting the reading. But as far as like me getting a reading, I had this one experience when I was younger, like early high school, and then one when I was older, and that's probably about it. Since then, I've been lucky, and I like have had other friends or students that I was studying with. Like we practiced on each other at the very beginning, so like I got to have that experience. But yeah, it's like a funny thing. Like sometimes we're doing it even though we haven't necessarily received it all that much.
I know, and I have things that will come through me for other people,
Yeah.
even though I don't identify in any particular way, and so I don't know. I think that there's something about that I also like to protect.
Yeah.
And just let it be really organic.
I love that. Niki, for me, there's like a few different people on the other side, and I'm kind of sort of trying to like hang on to them. This person that comes in right here, for some reason, and I wrote it down earlier, they give me the word home. It's almost like they feel like home, or they feel like very warm and welcoming. Usually when I'm talking about this side of my body, I'm talking about mom's side of family. And then someone coming in and either you spending a lot of time in their home is kind of what it feels like. And the way I'm imagining this person coming forward, this is going to sound funny. It feels a bit like grandmother or like grandmother adjacent. Does that make sense to you? Okay. And like do you understand them talking a lot about home or ideas of like being home with them or at home? And that's okay if it's a no.
If it is my grandmother, then yes, because I spent tons of time in her home.
Okay, perfect. I think that's like just how she wants to come across first, like home, home, home. Okay, home, home, home. Lovely, good, good, good. All right, fine. I'm going to say that. I'm going to get into this funny part. I've never had a grandmother come in this way, and but there's a reason for it. So what I'm going to do is go like this and then this. So she talks about home. Okay, fine. I'm going to say that. Home. I'm just gonna be quiet for a little bit. I know that's kind of funny. Hmm? Okay, fine. I'm gonna say that. What she does for me, she's trying to get me to be really specific. Like, she comes in and she's like, it's a little bit of her showing me her personality as well. Like, she's kind of telling me to like slow down, to connect in, to like really connect in with her. Also to like be gentle with myself. But the way she says it is like, tell Nikki to be gentle with herself too, and she wants to be so intentional with the reading, but it's because she herself is an intentional person. She's like, I do things on purpose. I do things with intention. I have a way about living life that like every action I take is very meaningful. Does that make sense to you? She even calls herself like quite a connected person to her own spirituality, like um whatever it was in life that she believed in, she's like, I believed in it so solidly that it was a big part of my life. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
And then she brings up this idea of home. And I know I said something funny in the beginning where I'm like, who is this like home or grandmother adjacent or home adjacent? Do you understand her having two homes? She's like, here's this home. And then later in life, here's where I am, like for a shorter amount of time. And that could be like a nursing home or a community home or something like that. Or she's talking about like this other place that Nikki visits and she sees me. Like it's not just her home, but it's somewhere else too. Does that make sense to you?
No, I don't understand the other place that she visits. Um, if we're sticking with sort of the thread of it being my grandmother, the only thing that I can think of that makes sense is that before me, she lived in another state. She was originally from West Virginia, and then she moved to California, but I only ever knew her in California. It's where
Yeah.
she lived and died. So I don't know the piece that relates to another place.
Okay, that's okay. What I'm gonna do is kind of remember I said it. I'm gonna like kind of
Okay.
leave it there for now because she's not budging too much. I do feel as though she's also trying to like she's going like this to me, which is sometimes like, Haley, can you notice this other person coming in and this other person coming in and this other person coming in, as though there's like a few other people on the other side that I could also be paying attention to. Um, but she does want to come forward first and just like in this loving way. And there's two main things she talks about. One is the home thing that I mentioned. And the other thing is, this is going to sound really strange, but humans. She's like,
Mm.
talks about humans. And what she means by it is Nikki studies humans, or Nikki is in this field where the human part of it is really important. Does that make sense to you?
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, perfect. And she's like, stick to it. Like, I need her to know that she's meant to work with humans. I know that sounds really funny, but like, she's meant to work in this way and she's meant to help people in this way. And she has such a way of touching people's hearts. Like, you have such an intuitive way of knowing people that it's important that you keep going. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. She's really proud of you. She like puts you on a pedestal in the most beautiful way of like, can we allow ourselves, like you, Nikki, can you allow yourself to celebrate yourself?
Mhm.
She does see she's like, Nikki's having a hard time with that because something recently happened. Like we had a almost like a break in the system, or we are thinking of it as like a pitfall, but just let her know that like things are coming back up. Like it's just a temporary break almost is what it feels like. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
And you're already on your way of like picking yourself back up and getting back into it. And she's like, that's the goal. We get back into it and we stick to it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. But she loves you. Like she's here. I'm not letting her go. She's going to be here for all reasons, but she does bring someone kind of closer in for me that do you have mom that's on the other side? And that's okay if it's a no. Who would be a little bit more like it's almost like grandmother brings in someone that generation, like next generation under, and is like right here. She's like it's someone that like needs to come through. is how she puts it.
Is
Um,
yeah. Is it female
no, it
energy?
can be male too. Sometimes in like
Oh,
this, I'm not sure if it's female or male.
yeah,
Sometimes like in this area though, I know it to be like this is grandparents' generation. This is okay, lovely, good. She's gonna try to tell me. But this is that next generation. And it doesn't even necessarily fine. I was gonna say, I'm gonna say this. I was about to say it doesn't even necessarily have to be related to her, but the way they come in right next to her kind of feels like they are. Like she's like right here. Does that make sense to you? Which I think is where I'm like, oh,
yeah.
are we with mom or are we with like mom adjacent sort of thing?
There are possibilities. There are definitely other family members who have passed on. Her children. So
Okay.
an aunt and an uncle. Well, a few aunts and an uncle.
That might be where she's like, this is where she's going, pay attention here. This is like where pay I should have explained this in the beginning. I'm saying some of this out loud because there's some people that listen to or watch the podcast that are like, what is it that Hailey's doing?
Yeah.
Because they you are trying to or are connecting in just like I am. Lovely good. So this is just like one way that I'm doing it. I'm like, ooh, like show me more information about this person that you want to point out. I'm gonna get it from her. I'm gonna get it from your grandmother. She still feels so present to me. She's like, let me help you. Fine, I'm gonna say that. She goes, this is why I'm doing it. She kind of goes, oh, I'll help line them up for you. Not in a bossy way, but in like a leadership way. Like, here's
Yeah.
this one, like, let me organize this for you. She comes off as not overly organized, but gently organizing me. Does that make sense? She's
Yes.
like, I'll help with this. I'll help with this.
Yes.
Okay, really good. Good, good, good. I can understand uncle. For some reason, she just like very gently places uncle over here for me, which means we're not going to connect with him quite yet, quite right now. We can later if we want, sort of thing. And then she's like, here are aunts over here. Like, here's some people over here. She just brings them a little bit closer to my heart. I'm going to see why. Lovely, good, fine, closer to my heart. I'm going to say something kind of funny. Can you understand and just to help differentiate between which aunt wants to talk first or here now. One aunt comes forward and she almost fine, hold on. I am gonna be quiet just for a second. Hold on. Let me good, good, good. Okay, fine. This is a different thing for me. You know, like the feeling of, and I'm gonna go stereotypical here. Stereotypical mom. Like everyone's mom, like in general, everyone's mom. I have a different mom. I can't quite place my mom in this area. You might not be able to either, and that's fine. But like a nice, caring, what we generally think of regular mom, regular grandma. You have an aunt that places herself right between the two that's like, oh, like I'm nice and caring. I'm kind of sort of motherly, but would never take mom's spot. I'm not quite grandmother, but I also want to like come in and take care of and be a bit in charge and be. It's like motherly is not the right word, but like somewhat motherly for lack of a better definition. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. She places herself like right in between, and I know your mom's still here, alive, living, but just energetically, right in between those two people, like, here I am, and wanting to come forward for you. Are you okay if I connect in with her more and like have her come forward for you a little bit more? Okay, lovely, good, 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 lovely. She goes, I'm also, there's two different things. There's in life and on the other side. I'm wanting to like send Nikki things and take care of her. This is a bit like I want to take care of her, send her things, both in life and now that I'm on the other side. Does that make sense to you? Okay, perfect. Good, good, good. She's like little gifts, little things, but it also like helps in a big way, is how she puts it. Okay, lovely, good. Lovely, good, good, good. Okay, lovely, good. Hold on. She's just going to come a little bit closer for me. And she's almost like not elbowing, but like kind of sifting through all the other energy. She's like, guys, like it's my turn. Like I get to go. In the way she just did that, she feels like a leader to me, but also like gentle and kind, very similar to how grandmother could come in, but also like, look, 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 it's my turn. She almost like leads by being quiet. It's like when she talks, we want to listen, sort of thing, because she doesn't talk all that often, but when she does, it's like, ooh, like I know she has something important to say. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I'm trying to really um, work through which aunt it
Oh,
is.
interesting.
Uh,
Okay.
but but one is not gentle. So so if she's giving, and I loved her, but if she's giving gentle, that's not her.
I love
And um but then the one that's gentle is also not really quiet either. So
Okay, that's okay. I love it. I like that she's not really quiet. Which is the one that gives gifts? Is it the not gentle one or the gentle one?
they
Or both. I
okay,
mean,
so one would give gifts, but like nothing else. Like she was always like she was, that relative that cares about you, but like they don't know how to express themselves. So it's just like, here's some money, let's go get pickles from the liquor store.
yeah.
That's like one aunt. And then the other aunt was a little bit more nurturing when I was younger. Like she didn't, I wouldn't really think of her as giving me things, but she bought me like my very first herbalism book, or taught me about like those types of things. But then she moved away for a while. So I think I was missing a fair amount of time, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Uh, so it's more likely to be that than the
Yeah.
other
I was gonna
one.
say it feels more like the second one, the latter one that you mentioned. Like this, like in between, like I'm nurturing and it gives me a little bit more of those feelings. Now, sometimes we can have like other people kind of and especially how like she was like, let me get around these people, like let me get in there to keep talking. It kind of feels like maybe other aunt is like trying to come in and talk a little bit too. And they're just having fun with me, really.
Right.
Um, so I'm like, okay, you guys. One, the one that kind of more slowly ebbs in there is like, no, like it's still my turn. This is still my space. She feels a little bit more nourishing, a little bit more motherly isn't the right word, but the feelings
Yeah.
of that word is how it feels. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have her come in even closer, and the rest, of course, are okay with that. They get like a giggle out of me saying that they were having fun with me. Gonna come in close. She's like, yeah, like it's my turn. And that's okay if she wasn't really quiet, but as long as you can imagine her, because I was asking them to separate themselves out, as long as you can kind of sort of imagine her just being a little bit more quiet or a little bit,
Yeah.
just like a
Yeah.
slight different energy in there. Okay, lovely, good. There she goes. And then she's like, I love you. Like, ooh, like I love being here. I love sitting with you. I love guiding you from the other side. As she touches the back of my neck, which always means, please tell Nikki that I'm guide to her from the other
Mm.
side, that your energy and her energy, even if you imagine her still alive and living, are a lot alike. She's like,
Well, then that's her. Yeah.
like have like a soul bond, like got along so well, and just like a knowing without having to say it. Does that make sense? Um, like a lot alike, a lot alike. What like a beautiful way to remember me is how she puts it. Okay, lovely, good. Okay, lovely, good. Hold on, lovely, good, good, good. Mm. She does reference her passing being slow, but this is gonna be a funny way to describe it, but, like, slow but okay. She's like, it takes some time for me to pass. I get ill over the years. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to hear more about the end for her.
Okay.
Because if this is that aunt, she and I had like a really big falling out in the end.
Yeah.
And that had never happened.
Mhm. I'm gonna give you what she references, and then I might ask you some questions from it. She's like slow over the years. It kind of feels like 3-ish years to me, is what she brings up. And she's like, I get sick and then I'm not telling people absolutely everything about it, is how she puts it. Like I kind of ebb and flow. I kind of drop in some information there that maybe I'm not doing so well, but then I do understand it's more her cutting you off or people off in general. Like I'm kind of pushing people away, or even like more severe than that, like cutting people off towards the end of life.
Yeah, I think I'm going back to the other aunt. No, it has to be this aunt because I'm more like her than the other one.
Yeah, yeah, more like, um, And just remember it if you're like, ooh, but that sounds like my other aunt. What I'm gonna do is connect in with her in a little bit. I'm gonna like
Yeah.
ask
Okay.
step even more this way. But you feel free to be transparent with me. Be like, I don't know if I understand that with this aunt. What is this aunt's name? The one that you're more like, and like,
Her name, so her whole name is Carolyn Lorraine
oh, I
Martin. I used to call her Auntie Wayne. That's what we called her.
want Wayne. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Wayne. Okay, lovely
One
job.
of the things that I've been tossing around in my mind, I actually, and one of the things you maybe could check in with is that I do think has come through to me before, and apologized to me.
Yeah.
Um, and because of that falling out, because we had never had anything like that before, and what I what I think happened was I think she maybe had some early onset dementia
Uh,
that she wasn't talking about. And I think our falling out was really a result of her not being herself, but
mhm.
trying to behave as if she was still herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you say the 3-ish years, that feels like it could be a piece of this idea of not being well and not telling people,
Like
possibly.
what was going on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think and I'm going to be completely honest, like your intuition around that being like, I think she came and apologized from spirit. Like, trust that, like it's like, okay, like you feel like that's truth in your body. It's truth from the other side too. But it's like she's giving me, I'm going to try to describe it as best I can. It's almost like this anxious sort of feeling that she keeps kind of placing in my body. And she's not doing it to be mean, of course. She's just trying to tell a story about herself, and I'm letting her. Um, and she's like, this 3-ish years, and it does feel like an ish, like it's just around there. And then she goes like this to me. And then, like, it's kind of like if I'm her, she's like, and then I cut myself off from other people, but it's on me. Like, it's my fault. Like, it's on me. I did that. It wasn't other people turning their backs on me. It was me kind of not facing them. So that's the information she gives me, and then pulled in with the information that you feel intuitively to be true. Like, is it? Does that make sense? And then hold on, I'm gonna tap into this one more thing. She just told me to take a second with it. Mm. Okay, she's so this now has become like, this is when I start to cut people off and towards end of life. She's like, of course. Like, I'm so sorry for that. Sorry for not being myself. I'm sorry for not being this. Like, this is you and her being a lot alike. And she's like, this is me before that moment. And we're close and we're a lot alike. And there's a lot of security that I offer Niki. And I'm sorry for taking that away, is how she puts it. She's like, because I was kind of her person that she could turn to. Even when we weren't talking all that much, she still felt so related to me that it felt good. Like, even if we went weeks or months without talking, she still had me. Does that make sense? And she's like, and then I'm so sorry for that changing over time. I wasn't okay. Do you also understand her? You might not know this, or you might, but having like an addiction to things, not like drugs or alcohol, but like either not completely hoarding, but like there's kind of something going on where she's like holding on to actual items that aren't serving her, or like a something like that. She keeps kind of pulling things into right in front of her that it feels like it's blocking her from even being herself too. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I faintly remember just like some things pop in my mind now, like, when I was little, when I was a teenager and she lived by herself, I remember her having things like memorabilia. And since she's passed away, which happened during COVID, so there wasn't much to do about it, um, my mom was sort of responsible for clearing out her things. And my mom, for the last like 2 or 3 years, has been just like, oh, Auntie Wayne, she's been bringing things to my kids. Like, this is from Auntie Wayne's ex fiance. This is from, like, bracelets. And it's like, well, I don't even remember her being engaged. So how long has she had that gold bracelet? It's just like
Yeah.
bringing so many trinkets.
Yeah, and it like just kind of, I mean, for lack of a better word, but like stuff. Like it.
Just, and I didn't even know she had it. So it wasn't something that where you would like go into her space and go, wow, there's a lot of things here. But later I was just thinking, why would she still have
Yeah, yeah, lovely. I think she's just kind of like referencing that. And then correct me if I'm wrong, but kind of the way I'm feeling into that combined with what you just said, it's like kind of like just stuff. Like it's not like the most meaningful, like it's not necessarily making you feel all that connected, like the things from her. So she's like the things that she's like, and that's lovely and fine that people are getting these objects. She kind of thinks it's like a little quirky, funny. Um, but she's like, the way Niki really connects in with me is really good. Like seeing me, hearing me, knowing me, mostly in a meditative state is how she puts it. It's almost like putting a blanket over your head, like we're getting really calm and quiet. And then she comes in more like this side of her, like when you guys would have been super, super more like aligned with each other. She's like, that's me. Like when I come in and I help you feel like good, calm, neutral, that's me, is how she puts it. Okay, then she's doing something funny. She's kind of pulling in other aunt for a second. Uh, and I still, of course, feel grandmother there too, but it's a bit too fine, lovely, good. Talk about some career things, if that's okay with you.
the other aunt?
Yeah. Your
Okay.
other aunt comes in and she gets, hold on, I'm going to see if I can connect in with her just a little bit more. Okay. She just comes a little bit more open, is how she puts it. She's like, she lays all the cards on the table for me as a visual of like, I'm just going to tell it how it is sort of person. Does that make sense? Um,
Yes.
but she like even has like a good laugh. Like you just laughed so beautifully. She's like, I have like a good sense of humor in life. She does feel as though the way she passes is unfair, like she's okay with it now from where she is on the other side, but she's like, darn it, like I wish I had lasted longer. Wish I could still be there. Because she kind of gives me the feeling that she enjoyed life. She's like, I enjoyed it. Like I was having fun. So I wish I was still there. Does that make sense? Yeah, I know you can't see what I'm doing. My hands are like this, but they're kind of out. She's like, oh, like c'est la vie, like
Yeah.
it is what it is, though, at the same time. And but wanting people to know, like, of course I'm okay here on the other side. Find love good. Hold on. That's a funny reference. I think it's her, and she also fine. Um, so not aunt that's like this, but the aunt that lays the cards on the table. She kind of goes like kind of goes like this, like she feels like her funeral or her celebration of life was quite like beautiful is how she does it. She's like and a bit grand. She's like it was she feels celebrated. Does that make sense to you? Okay. And she's like, I liked that part though. Like if you're thinking of I was people celebrated me. She feels pretty proud of that and the way people handled that. Does that make sense? Okay. Good, good, good. So what I'm going to do now, only because it feels important, is kind of invite that aunt that I was just with and Auntie Wayne to come closer, closer, closer. Lovely, good. And they're starting to work in unison with you on the other side and wanting to talk about some other life things, quite possibly career, but I'm gonna let them take it in whatever direction they want to take it. Okay, lovely, good. Hmm. They're like, I love you. We see you. We know you. We support you. Okay, lovely, good. Do you understand needing to take a break or a break coming up from school, from work, from career, something like that? Where they're like, we need to take a bit of a break. Does that make sense to you?
Feel like I need a break, but but I
But having a hard
I
time figuring out like when or how that would be.
or maybe it's just a discussion about a break, or should I take a break, or but the word break has
Yeah.
been circulated.
Feel like, and I know we are talking about like something kind of different a second ago, but this is, I'm going to go with this for a second because it's from your aunts. Do you feel like if you were to take a break, it's almost like you'd have to force yourself to? Like you yourself are not used to taking breaks.
Yeah,
Do you have taking a break? Is like, I would have to like force myself to take a
of
break.
course.
Okay. Um, Perfect. So hold on, what I'm going to do with your aunts is have them come a little bit closer. Okay, so they want you to look at it in a different way. They're like, the thing is at the end of the day, Niki won't ever do it. Like she won't take a break. She can't quite force herself to do it. I mean, I can understand like a vacation or two here or there, like where it's like a week-long break or something like that. But like a break, they're like, it's a little bit too hard. But what they want you to do is continue the work that you're doing right now. Um, but then start the next thing is how they put it. So like almost like put a month aside and be like, I'm not taking a break, but at the end of the month, it's going to feel like you did because you're going to start the next thing and just take a break from the work that you're doing right now. And then I know this is going to be kind of sticky and hard for a second, but I'm going to get there. Start the next thing because then they're meant to like lay on top of each other, work together, fold on top of each other. But we kind of, you'll feel energetically renewed if you were to take a break from what you're doing right now. Does that make sense? And it doesn't have to be right now, but plan a month break for the thing you're doing right now, like later in the summer.
Yeah, I think the issue is that I'm doing so many things. I don't know which thing I'm supposed to take a break from.
Okay.
But I do understand very clearly what's meant by um, continue what you're doing now, but start the next thing. I
Right.
see that very clearly because that's already kind of started to happen, um, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
But the thing that I'm supposed to take a break from could also be because I'm doing like four things.
Okay,
So
perfect. What's the, and I mean, just in your mind, you don't have to answer this out loud. The thing that you're like starting to do that kind of feels a little bit more new, maybe not brand new, but new. And like it gives you energy. You're like, ooh, like if I had a whole day just to do this thing, I would just like, that would light me up. And it's because it's the truth. It's like, ooh, if you give yourself a, and you could practice breaks in different ways. Like, I'm going to give myself just a 24-hour break and just do this thing right here. And it's going to give you energy to complete these other things that just energetically feel a little bit like they're um, maybe slowing you down or draining you. They're not. They're not slowing you down. Like they're meant to be. You're meant to like kind of push through some of these things right here because they all get to work with this thing up here at some point, or they're all going to feel like up here at some point energetically. Um, so you could play with that, be like, I'm gonna give myself 24 hours just to do this thing right here. And like it's gonna kind of like pull up some of this energy right here to then go back to these things. And then at some point you might realize like, ooh, I could give myself a whole week or a whole 2 weeks. And then it's gonna like pull up even more energy for these things here. I know that feels a little abstract, but of all of those kind of four-ish things that you're mentioning, you understand this one, right? Like the newish, like
I understand the newish for sure.
perfect. Good. And so anything that you could put under that, hold on, I'm feeling too. I'm gonna get your ants to come in a little bit closer. Love it. Good, good, good. They're kind of like, are these things that you kind of like on a even on a daily basis within your day, like you're rotating in and out? Okay. Okay, okay. Are they all career related?
Uh, yeah, most of them are. A fair amount of my life is is career related, and then of course there's there's family, there's the kids. I have 3 kids, and my husband also, rotates.
Yeah, rotate. That because when we talk about like rotating in and out, it's like let's just talk about career. Like we're not
Okay.
talking about, of course, we're not talking about a break from parenting because it's impossible. We're not, it's like
Yeah. Nope.
parenting, marriage, like the more we put into those things, the more we get out of it. Of course, like give yourself a break, like go do something for yourself in that realm. Like if I were to separate out family life sort of things. Um,
So
and
yeah, with career,
career,
yes, there's
yeah.
there's a for sure like new opportunity that's just getting started that I'm really excited about. Um, I mean, I haven't been this excited about anything. And then do you want me to like give you more
Yeah.
words, or does that ruin things? Okay.
No, at this point, tell us because,
So okay, so I am, I'm a somatic therapist. So I have a private practice. Then I also am a breath work, meditation, and yoga educator. So I teach teachers, I help facilitate trainings. I also do somatic facilitation at 2 recovery places, addiction and recovery. One I just resigned from, and I feel totally fine about that. I'm still at the other one. It's the one I liked more than the one I just left.
okay, lovely.
And I also am in a doctoral program.
Oh, lovely.
So those are kind of all of the pieces where it's like take off hat, have somatic therapy client, go to recovery center lead group, come home, work on doctoral assignment, go here, run a, restorative yoga training. But this thing that's happening is that I will be working with a somatic practitioner training as a mentor. And if they achieve accreditation, then I could potentially end up in a professorship, which is ultimately what I think I'd like to be doing is lecturing, education, facilitation.
Mm, I love it so much. And that's the thing that's like up here, right? Like that. Ooh, like
But
this
I
is,
haven't even started anything yet with
yeah,
that. Just
like the idea of it.
synchronicity,
Yeah.
the way that I discovered it, met with the person, the way that they kind of just like said, we want you on the spot.
Yeah.
All of that it felt so easy.
I love it. And I like, I slash your aunt slash your grandmother kind of coming in, maybe somebody else over here, but like want you to always remember the feeling of that. Like that is kind of your soul being like, yep, like we've done all of this rotating work here because this is like and my fingers are doing this because they're making me feel as though it's like shiny, sparkly thing. And to allow yourself to go towards it, to like go into that. Um,
But stay in the PhD program.
This kind of feels like we got to keep rotating this. Yeah. Like we can't give up yet. Now, I'm not saying that there might not be a time to stop if we feel like we need to stop, but for right now and like foreseeable future, and I'm going to put that in the next 3 months, like a season, keep going with it. Like there's still something in there that you're meant to get out of it.
I know
Um,
that to be true. I just try to check it periodically to make sure it's just to go, has it changed yet?
Changes or anything else. I love it. I love that you know it too. And so it's like, shoot, sometimes we have to go with what we know.
I
Like,
don't
even
want to
if
know
it
it, but
gives
I
us,
do know it.
yeah, even if it gives us a little bit of like the shoot, it's like it's okay sometimes for our yeses to kind of be the thing that we're like, oh man, like I signed up for this thing and I got to follow it through. Like there's also a knowing behind it. And I'll describe that differently. And you know this, Nikki, but it's like, yes, we have yeses and nos. And sometimes our yeses are like oh, like I got to like fight my way through this one. But it's because it's going to be so much more well worth it on the other side of it. So yeah, like keep rotating. And I like that you've kind of narrowed it down to three. Like you quit work at that one place. That feels great. Like your intuition was telling you, like, I got to take something off my plate so that I can rotate these a little bit quicker and maybe
And
even
the
quicker.
yoga space, I'm still not sure if I can see how one day that's going to
Yeah.
maybe end as well.
Yeah. I think that's perfect. And like a knowing that something is coming to an end is a beautiful knowing. It can be hard, right? Sometimes it's like, ooh, like I can't believe that that might come to an end at some point. Um, but it's also like great because I can see where it's opening these doors in these other places. Like, even if I don't fully realize it yet, I can trust that it's because this other like thing is going to come in deeper and deeper and deeper. I would also like take this opportunity and run with it. Like, if this is what lit you up, do some fun research with like, ooh, who else does this thing? Who else is like, doing this work right here? How can I do it? How can like I be the leader in it? Because it kind of feels like that's important. Like when our soul gets lit up by something like that, is because there's more in it for us than we even currently realize. And
Oh,
like
I'm already on it.
go
I
down,
feel that. Yeah.
like let yourself go down the rabbit hole of the whole thing, just for fun, just to do
Yeah.
it. Do you know your human design by any chance?
No,
No.
I went through a phase of knowing many different things. You know, how, I like surveys and questionnaires, and so I take them all. And then I had too much information in my head
Yeah.
because I was doing kind of like a horizontal reflection on all of them. Um, so I don't know it, but I'd like to know it.
Yeah, look it up. I like Jenna Zoe. I think it's Zoe. I think it's Zoe is how you say her last name. I used to know that, and now I'm like psyching myself out. But it's spelled Zoe, like Z-O.
Mhm.
Um, look her up because I feel like she's a fun one to get your chart from. But then there's so many people that do it, so they're all fun. But she's kind of who I recommend to start off with at least. And it just might be fun to like see why or how you go down rabbit holes, and like there's some fun things in there, but to overall just like let yourself do it. But I like when you start talking about this thing, I get really excited for you. There's also like your guides on the other side being like, there's this opportunity and there's this one, and they're all like in that same plane where the things you're rotating right now are in this plane. They're like, but that's okay. That's not a, they're not down there. Like, it's just this plane. And then there's this plane. And they're like, and we're by all means like moving up to this plane.
And so the break is more of a focusing than it is a cessation of something else.
It's more of an energy builder, actually. It's like rotate these things, but then give yourself a day break to like go down this rabbit hole that you
Okay.
really like up here, because then it's going to rotate these things even faster. Like, watch you finish your doctorate even faster because you allowed yourself a break up here. Like
Okay.
you allowed that light, that energy to come in, and adjust. It will adjust the energy down here and help you like keep going with things that you need to keep going with right now, out of reality, out of need, out of, look, we signed up for this thing, we're going to finish it, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Niki, do you have anything to add? But I would also love if you're comfortable like sharing your work and where people can find you and how they can reach out to you.
Yeah, I mean, things have popped in my mind. They're probably better suited for like another separate session because it would move into maybe a different direction. Um, I do just hopefully want these people that came through to know that it's okay if they come through to me, because I'm really, really open to
Go ahead.
that.
Yeah.
I am the owner of embodimentpath.com, and I do somatic facilitation. So I occupy the intersection of humanistic and transpersonal psychology and movement practices. Usually, my practices of choice look very much like yoga because I love yoga with my whole heart. Um, but I will use literally anything I have at my disposal to help people work through trauma. And my goal is not to have people have to come see me every week for the rest of their lives. It's really to give them the tools to give them their bodies back. And so they see me for a little while, and then we start to extend the time between sessions. And pretty soon they just check in with me. And the more people I do that with, the better the world's going to be. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I'm pretty sure too. Oh, I love that. So people can find you at embodimentpath.com. And then
Yes.
are you on Instagram at all?
I am. It's they can either just look up my name, Niki Wikstrom, which is just with one K, Niki, and then Wikstrom, Wikstrom, or my handle is at Niki Asana, so it's Nikiasana.
Okay, perfect.
That's where I am.
Okay, good. I loved hearing that, and I love like seeing you light up when you talk about your work. Someone else was on the podcast. Theirs, I think, will air a little bit before yours. I'll have to check. Sometimes we switch the schedule, but they are also a humanistic psychologist, or I think they're studying that, something like that.
Mhm.
Um, but I love that connection. I love that connection, and thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you for doing what you do.
Yeah. Thank you for showing up today, and I really appreciate your time and your energy.
Yeah, and thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you for giving me the space.
Yeah. Thank you, Niki. I hope you have a great day. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Thank you, Niki, so much for being on. Again, you guys can follow her at Niki Asana on Instagram. That's Nikiasana. Or you can head on over to her website at embodimentpath.com. Please like, subscribe, send to a friend, leave a review of the podcast. It helps us so much. And I love y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here.